Welcome to Merricks Garage. I'm so excited to share this with you guys. I've been hinting at it for a while, I've been dancing around it, but it's here. I am linking my truck front and rear with Bilstein Coilovers and Bumpstops. I'm also going to be tearing into my front Dana 60 and replacing axle shafts and locking hubs and hopefully the traction device in there. Lots and lots of work ahead of me, but it's gonna be awesome. I have wanted to link my truck for years. It was something that I wish I had done up front, but I didn't have the means, the money, the space, or the time to do it. But I do now, and that is in large part to you guys. The involvement and engagement that I have received from my subscribers is not lost on me. You guys have been fantastic. The channel continues to grow. The feedback I get from you guys is constructive and helpful, and I love communicating with you guys. I look forward to uploading a video every Friday because I know I'm going to get to engage with you guys and have really cool conversations. So it's not lost on me that I have the opportunity to do some really cool stuff to my truck, and it's because you guys have given me this platform. So thank you. What I need from you is detailed comments down below. Tell me what you're looking for. Tell me what you want to get into. Tell me what you want to see. Think of yourself as the producer-director for this video series. I'm hoping to give you guys the content that is not only relevant and applicable, but honest and straightforward too. I'm not being paid for any of these products. Yes, they have been provided by several of the companies for free, but several of the products I've gone out and bought on my own too. So I am not beholden to any of these companies. You're going to get honest Merricks Garage reviews from them. But it's going to be fun. It's going to be a wild time. It's going to be a heck of a lot of work. But ultimately, I think it's going to be entertaining and educational to us all. So let's go get it. Before we get down in the weeds with leaf springs versus coilovers, I thought it was important to discuss the benefits and drawbacks to both systems. Both are very good applications for an off-road vehicle. Leaf springs have worked flawlessly for years and years. Manufacturers have been making these springs and have got this down to a science. There's a reason that a lot of pickup trucks still come with leaf spring suspension. They just flat out work. The leaf spring has several things going for it. Its reliability, its simplicity, and its durability are unmatched. You can find a wide variety of leaf springs at a junkyard, at a swap meet. You can order them from specific manufacturers like Deaver and Alcon that can design the springs for your particular ride. You're going to get that durability and simplicity with a customized ride that is going to be tuned for your vehicle. Now, some of those benefits are also a drawback to them in the fact that being so simple limits how much adjustability you have in the system. That's when a coilover suspension really shines. The rebound dampening, the compression dampening, the progression of the springs, whether they're progressive or linear, dual rates, all of these things are now adjustable with a coilover suspension. With a leaf sprung suspension, you're basically constrained by the spring that you put in and the rebound characteristics of the dampener that you use. You can get a dampener that can control rebound and some compression adjustments, but most of the systems out there are going to be a single rebound dampener that is tuned for one application and one application alone. That's not necessarily a bad thing. That simplicity adds to the reliability and why a lot of people still choose to go with a leaf sprung setup. So now that we've talked about some of the benefits of a leaf sprung suspension, let's talk about some of the drawbacks and why I have wanted to switch. The tunability and the precise adjustments you can make to a coilover suspension make it a really, really solid upgrade. You can change the compression ratios, you can change the ride height, you can change the rebound characteristics. You can introduce multiple spring tensions, so you can have a supple ride over small washboards but still have progressive compression available for big hits. Let's go over the basic components of the coilover suspension. You've got your remote reservoir. This is where your nitrogen charge resides. Much like a monotube that is going to have the nitrogen at one end of the canister, you're going to have your nitrogen charge within this external reservoir. Why nitrogen? Well, nitrogen is going to resist cavitation, which is oil and air or oil and gas mixing and efficacy of that dampening fluid fading over time. By using nitrogen, you're using a more stable gas that you could effectively rely on to be more predictable. Within this shaft, you're going to find a piston up at the top that you can change the valving, you can change the discs, you can change many things attributable to that will adjust how the shock performs. The expansion tube that runs from the remote reservoir to the shock body itself contains fluid also. Notice that the Bilstein has this flexible cloth covering. An additional benefit of this is it acts as a heat sink. You're going to expel heat through this expansion tube, which is going to increase the performance overall of the shock. The adjustability in a coilover suspension system is its claim to fame. You can provide a ride that is supple, but also responsive to big hits. Multiple springs enable you to tune for all different types of environments that you will run into. The valve within inside, you can change the shims, the shim pack, to give you a different rebound characteristic. You can change the viscosity and height of the oil. You can change the pressure of the nitrogen. There are so many tuning options that, quite honestly, it is out of the expertise of many people, including myself. But knowing that it's there and having a professional tune it for the type of driving and four-wheeling that you experience is a huge benefit. So why coilovers? Why linked suspension? What is so great about this? Well, there is just so many options that you can run. Primarily, the main difference is going to be that you are using the spring to control compression dampening. Unlike a leaf sprung suspension, that the spring itself is serving multiple purposes, you can isolate that compression dampening basically right down to the spring. You can add a lot more of adjustments in. By running two different strengths of springs, you can control how the truck will respond to hits of various sizes. By using these adjustment lock nuts, you can determine when the spring will transition from the primary spring to the secondary spring. This is a huge benefit, as not all impact and compressive forces are the same. You can build some of this adjustability into a leaf spring setup, but it is not as easy as it is with a coilover setup. Basically, with a leaf spring, you get what you get. With a coilover, there is tons of options that you can go with that will change how it responds in all different types of environments.
Integral to any well-sorted suspension setup is going to be a bump stop. Bump stops come in a wide variety of materials and configurations, ranging from a rubber bump stop all the way up to a hydraulic pressurized bump stop. My truck currently has just the stock factory rubber bumpers on there. You can get competition mounts that are made out of a high quality polyurethane. You can get air bumps, which is just going to be a canister filled with air. You can get hydraulic bump stops. But bump stops are an integral part in the fact that they will provide compression dampening for the final few inches of suspension travel, so that you are not bottoming out your shocks. Bilstein has graciously provided me with their 4-inch hydraulic bump stops, which I will be putting on the build when I throw these guys on. The bump stop's purpose is to provide a compressive resistance for the last few inches, so that you are not reliant on either the rubber bump stop of your suspension piece or the mechanical fixed compression of the shock, resulting in bottoming out. You can also design your suspension around transitioning the force from the coilover to the bump stop. But these are critical. The next few months are gonna be fast and hectic. I got a ton of work to do to the truck, but the end result is gonna be something that I have been waiting for years and years. As I have built my truck up, I've realized that I have brought the technology in the engine, in the transmission, in the axles, and various things like that. I've raised the bar on the capabilities of my truck. And as a result, I found myself out driving my suspension frequently. My suspension has worked admirably for what I've wanted it to do, but I always kind of knew in the back of my head that I was going to be moving to a link system eventually. I'm excited to share this with you guys and to go through the entire process of installation and tuning and enjoying it. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of hard work, but I'm sure I'm going to dig what we come out with in the end, and I hope you guys will too. Till next time, Merricks Garage.